Okay, here we are, Avalon Zelena project. We are finally getting somewhere. This presentation is about the plumbing and heating step. This is perhaps the most important and most expensive and most complicated step in the whole project. So I'll just go to the next slide here. So here's the project sequence now. It's been adjusted. We thought it was, first I thought it would be 16 steps, then we got down to 12 steps, but now it's looking more like 15. So we finished the design and estimation. There's a video on that. There was a short video on the wall reconfiguration. And now we're on the plumbing and heating. And afterwards we'll go to the electrical, AC, and ventilation. That's all done by the electrician. And then once plumbing and heating are done, we'll fill in the floor with concrete. And the project manager found out that we can move the gas lines around. There's a way to do it, and some contractor can do it. So I think once you get through the first 6 steps here, this is all kind of like the bones, the infrastructure in the apartment. Once that's all solved, it should move pretty fast. Ceilings and walls, painting, tiles probably take a little time and a little bit of skill, but there are people who do it. It's not super complicated, but it is messy and requires some skill. And then finishing off the bathroom also. And then the rest of it is fairly easy, I think. Not so terribly difficult. So yeah, we're moving along. So we will go here. So the plumbing has a lot of steps. Plumbing, heating. Plumbing and heating go together because the heating is actually run by hot water. Gas, which heats the water, which makes it hot. So the first part is actually shopping and delivery. There's a lot of stuff you have to collect and get to the job site, and that's a job by itself. The project manager, she spent a lot of time just getting supplies and getting the fixtures and getting everything to the apartment. So I put that down as a major step, and there is it takes time and there's a lot of details. She was calling me and asking me specific questions and working out details because there's a lot of differences in the fixtures, slight differences, in the look and the functions that have to be worked out. Then you cut the channels and install the drainage. So there's soft concrete floors. They have to be cut so you can put the drainage in there and you can run the water lines. And then you install the radiators, and then you install the floor heating. And then you begin the water works with the filtration and then the hot and cold water lines. So we're running the water filter right from the main so that all the water coming into the apartment is clean. So any tap that's open will have filtered water. And then you run hot and cold water lines, and then you connect it to the boiler. You connect the hot water line to the boiler, and then you have to test everything. So that's basically the steps I'll show you that was done. So this is the shopping and delivery. So as I said, we had to get the bathtub. We put that on deposit. We didn't pick it up, but it's being held at the store. This is the manifold for the floor heating. I decided on this drain look. I just knew I wanted a drain, but she gave me a lot of choices on drains, so I had to pick that out. This is the hot water heated floor lines, that run hot water under the floors to give a heated effect. We went with a built-in toilet. There's two pieces to that. There's the actual toilet part, and then there's the back end, with all the plumbing and flushing. And then there's this, whoops, I gotta go back. Then there's the heated towel rack, and then there's all these fixtures. We went with the Grohe fixtures. So it's a German company. I think it's a good investment to have the proper fixtures. So most of the plumbing fixtures are Grohe. The bathtub is some other brand, but the ones with the moving parts or running water parts that can leak, I decided to go with the German company Grohe just to be extra sure that we won't have any problems down the road. I would say that plumbing is probably going to be 35 to 40% of the project cost. With the floor heating. If you don't do floor heating, it'll be a lot cheaper. It'll probably be half of that. But with the floor heating, it is a substantial part of the project. And you should take your time on it and get the right people to do the work. Okay, so next, cutting the channels and installing the drainage. You can see that they have to, use a saw with a concrete blade and cut this open, and then they run the lines. This is the drain pipes. So there was a lot of channel cutting, on this project altogether took, I think, 5-6 days. There were some days where there was nothing to be done because they're waiting for parts or waiting for a contractor. But In total, this thing took, I think, about, yeah, 6, maybe 7 days. It was pretty much all during the last week and a half that we got this done. So it wasn't too terribly long. It wasn't as long as I thought it would be. I was actually guessing it would take twice as long, but they were pretty good at getting everything to the work site first and having all the parts in place before getting started. They were planning quite well. So then this is the next slide. We got some videos here, so I'll show this video first. So this is just a little video of like how the drainage looks, that was installed. This is the toilet, built-in toilet unit, and then they have also the water lines. They're also running as well as the drainage. So I think, yeah, and then this is more of the water lines, and that's that red was the underfloor heating lines. So, and then they've already begun the underfloor heating over there. And this is the manifold for the underfloor heating. So they don't really follow the sequence like I showed you. They kind of do everything at once, but I wanted to give some kind of sequence. So you get a semblance that there is like a procedure, but I think they were doing what they could do, and then they would do some other things so that everything finishes on time. But this is an underlayment before you put down the floor heating, and I think that pushes the heat up as well as makes it easier to pour the concrete and also mark where you're going to do everything. Here's another video. Again, this is the water lines, for the floor heating and the radiators. I think there might be hot and cold water lines in here as well that go to the kitchen and bathroom for the taps. And then here's a third video. And you can see there that, and this plastic, they're going to pour concrete into this, to cover all of this at some point. We'll go to the next slide. Let's see. All right, now here are the radiators in the bedrooms. This is a small bedroom radiator. You can see the channels here. They've cleaned up the debris. I think this was on the second day they were able to do this. Some of this is a mix between the first and second days in these last two slides. But you can see they're keeping the job site quite tidy, which I'm really happy with. I think this is very important because if you've got broken debris and everything all over the place, it can break your fixtures or break your equipment. It can hurt the workers. So it's very important to push them to stay tidy so that people can move around and work, and then your equipment doesn't get damaged or your fixtures don't get damaged. Or the pipes, you don't want that. You don't want a water leakage problem after the fact. And then next is the floor heating. This is the manifold I had shown in an earlier video, but this is like where all the water lines plug into, and you have we'll have an electronic controller, so I can run this from an app to heat and cool the floors. This is a underlayment that goes underneath the floor heating lines, and it's used to pour the concrete, but also tells them where to position the water lines. And I believe that this is some kind of mylar also to give some insulating factor. I'm not sure about that, or maybe it's just meant to, give them markings where to put everything. And then next, yeah, this is what the floor heating looks like when it's all laid out. This is a German brand Rehu. It's really good. I paid extra for this, and I think it's worth the money. It'll have better conductivity, so over the long run, it'll pay for itself with lower heating bills. Some of the floor heating lines, they call this, I think, PEX plumbing lines. It depends. Some of them are not as efficient, and then you'll end up paying more on the bill. So you'll save up front, but then you'll pay over the long run. I decided I want to recoup the money over the long run because I believe inflation is coming. So the prices of heating and everything will go up. So it's good to be as efficient as possible. And here's the manifold when it's all done. You can see that all the lines are hooked up here. I think there's like eight different lines. And then there's the electronic controller, and it's not yet tested. We have to wait for the electrician to come to run the tests on this. But I think there's a manual override. This knob looks like what I had in my last apartment, where you turn this knob to adjust it. But I believe we'll have everything electronically controlled. I don't think it'll be a problem. The next slide. Yeah, the more of the floor heating lines. I think these are videos. Yeah, you can see on the video how this all looks. So we're running the floor heating in the living room, the entry, and the bathroom. The bedrooms only have radiator heating. I think in a previous video I mentioned that it's not recommended to have these floor heating in the bedrooms. It's healthier to have radiator heat. So now the reason why this is empty in the back here is the bathtub will go there. So there's no point having floor heating under the bathtub. This is more of the floor heating in the living room. So it's like two major coils. I think there'll be like two zones there. I think maybe three. This is the water filtration coming in from the water main. This is reverse osmosis. It'll take out most of the chlorine and most of the sediments, and I think it'll also take out the chlorine. Yep, she got the water working. Good. This is the heating boiler, or the boiler we call it. In Ukrainian, they call it a kolanka. So yeah, it's looking good. I think this is on the third day, so they made so much progress in like 3 days, 3 working days. They really did a lot. I'm rather impressed. Usually plumbers, in America are quite slow, but this is like a really professional crew that we have here. If you're interested in getting your apartment remodeled, drop me a line, leave something in the comments, or contact me through YouTube. We would like to start doing this for other people at some point as a business. It's something I really enjoy, is home renovations. This is probably my 10th apartment or house that I've worked on. I've owned a variety of houses and home apartments and done renovations, and it's something I enjoy a lot. This is my first time doing the floor heating, so this is really turning out good. This is going to be the bathtub tap here, for the bathtub, hot and cold water, and growy fixture. Drainage is here. And then, yeah, this is more hot and cold water lines. And then we have a cold water line there you just saw for the washer machine and the tap. This is for the heating rack. The heating rack will be heated through hot water and also have the option of switching over electricity. And this is the radiator. These are the channels. So a lot has gotten done. I think, yeah, we have a little bit of pressure on the radiator. You can start living there almost can move in and won't be comfortable, but it'd be like living in a cave in Afghanistan or something, but it's a start. It's a start. So yeah, this is great. I'm really happy with the job that's done here. This is the other radiator. This is a double-sized one than the other room. I believe it'll really warm the room well. It's got a 10-year guarantee. So yeah, that's yeah, and then here's floor heating again. It's going to be a very, very efficient apartment, very warm in the winter. And then we'll get air conditioning at some point so we can keep it cool in the summer. Let's see, we have to get through this slide. Okay, now, yeah, here's the water filters working here. So we can see that, the reverse osmosis. I believe these cartridges actually last quite a long time. She mentioned that they have to be changed out every in years, like 1 or 2 years. I was thinking every couple months. So that's a big update in the technology, to do that. There is some waste when you get reverse osmosis. I think 2 out of 7 liters ends up going down the drain as like wastewater, or to take out sediments, and you'll pay for that on your water bill. But water is priceless to your health. I think it's very important to have clean water. Whether you're taking a shower, drinking it, or washing your dishes. You don't want lead and mercury and all that garbage. So you're better off paying a higher water bill and having your health. So, and in Ukraine, it's really, really important to have water filtration because water there is not clean. Um, it's not like Europe where the cities are filtering the water, the tap water. I mean, here in Norway, our tap water is only 40 parts per million. It's like cleaner than Evian, just what comes out of the tap here. So this is something you really have to invest in Ukraine. I think this was actually not that expensive. It's like $100 actually, but the filters cost money and you have to get them renewed and there has to be some service. So that's where the company makes its money. They practically give you the unit for next to nothing, but then they get you on the filters over the long run. But that's okay. Next slide. Yeah, hot and cold water lines. So you could, in the videos, we're going a little fast, but this is the cold water line for the washer and a drain hookup. And then this is the sink will go here, and this is the drain, the sewer pipe that connects, I think, the toilet, the sink, and the washer. And we have a second drain line also in this bathroom, which I think you can see it here. This is going to be where the bathtub goes. So the bathtub and shower will probably get that drain, have its own independent drain, because this used to be 2 bathrooms and now it's going to be just one big one instead of two small ones. So let me see if this is a video. No, this is not a video. Oh yeah, we have a video here. So yeah, and then this is the built-in toilet fixture here. And then yeah, this is the heating zone. So yeah, there you can see more of the plumbing fixtures. And this is the boiler connection. This actually didn't quite go the way we wanted to. The electrician has to come and connect the boiler so we can run the test to see that the water is heating up properly and that the floor is heating up properly. But anyway, the electrician needs the floor open because they're going to be running some wires under the floor, so we don't have to close the floor anyway. So we'll get to test both the electrical and the plumbing together instead of testing them independently, because one depends on the other. So we will have to get the electrical installation done first, and then we can test. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you understand the complexity involved in plumbing and heating. There's several steps involved. So anyway, the next video will be on the electrical. Hopefully that's coming soon. They're supposed to start next week. So thank you, and leave some comments below. And once again, if you're interested in getting renovation work done, this is something we can do for you. Myself and the project manager can help you organize this. It's something we want to do, and we want to get into this business. And we have a lot of contacts in Lviv, Ukraine. So if you've bought an Avalon apartment, or a Paris apartment, or one of the other major companies, and you have a shell finish, we can help you finish it while you're sitting at home. We can work with you in a remote situation. I'm working right now with my project manager in a remote situation. It's going very well. I think next time I can go to Ukraine, it'll be all done, and I'll be going straight into an apartment, straight into this apartment instead of having to stay in Airbnb. So yeah, drop us a line if you want to learn more about how to get your apartment finished, or about gray finish apartments in Ukraine, or shell finish, because they don't sell them complete. You buy the shell and then you got to finish it out. So let me know. Thank you. Bye.